Thanks for coming to 1500ESPN.com. Judd Zolgad, Derek Wetmore. Of course, I'm with Jeff Dubay, weekdays 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Derek runs the show at 1500ESPN.com. We just attended the Ricky Nolasco introductory press conference. And Derek, the Twins said this, and I guess it was true in some ways, a historic day for the Twins when you consider the contract that was just signed. Sounds like Phil Hughes to come later this week, but at least one pitcher now, Ricky Nolasco, is officially in the fold.
Yeah, I smirked at that comment a little bit that it is a historic day, but you're right, it is. It's the richest free agent contract in Twins history, 4 years at about $49 million. The press release, I think, said $12 million annually. It's going to be a big move for the Twins. Obviously, he immediately becomes the best pitcher in the Twins rotation, given the struggles they had for the past 3 seasons, but especially for last season when their rotation was just awful. He brings some instant credibility. What was your kind of takeaway from the press conference, large scale?
My takeaway was this. They have found a guy who can pitch innings. I think we now know who the opening day starter is going to be. Phil Hughes might vie for that role. I think the reality is this. He's a top of the rotation guy for this team. Mm-hmm. The only problem the Twins have now is I think until they actually start to win games on a consistent basis, they're in a no-win position because nothing they do is going to be enough. They can sign, unless they go, as I said on the show today, unless they go sign Clayton Kershaw and trade for Justin Verlander, anything they do is going to be met with a cynical, jaded eye. That being said, the fact that Ricky Nolasco seemingly could pitch innings for them, go out there, and also, to me, the key is now you start to bump down the guys that we used to talk about, right? Scott Diamond, can he do it? Well, now it'd be nice if he can, but all of a sudden, if he can't do it, he's not in the rotation. The last 2 to 3 years, I think you've gone into spring training saying, cross your fingers, maybe this guy can do this guy can do that. I think their Twins are starting to get away from that a little bit, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, the other big takeaway is that Terry was asked if this was a philosophical shift. Oh, you're going out and getting free agents now, whether it's a Ricky Nolasco signing or possibly Phil Hughes in the future. There's reports that the Twins are in talks with Jared Saltalamacchia as one of the finalists in that free agent signing. Is this a philosophical shift? You're going to build through free agency? And Terry quashed that notion. He said, absolutely not. We are a build from within organization, but we were so bad a year ago that we needed to fix. And Ricky Nolasco, they felt, was one of the big parts of that fix.
And Terry is a pretty honest guy for a sports executive.
Yeah.
And my feeling, he came out and said this. If we were in the Metrodome, this wouldn't happen. We lost guys in the Dome. We wouldn't have gone out and made these moves. But Derek, do you have the feeling that I do? When you hear Terry talking about this move and when he talks about Phil Hughes, and really if they add any high price for them free agents, do you have the feeling that Terry is going in kicking and screaming? I think he sat down with the Pohlads after the season and they all decided this can't continue. And the Pohlads finally said, spend some money. But I think Terry has entered a very interesting stage in his career because there was a time when he started as Twins GM, when this was probably a lot more about baseball. And the Metrodome, you didn't make money there, and you could sort of build things up. The interesting thing, I think, and this is why I think the Pohlads would actually tell him, you have to spend our money, is this. Fox Sports North carries the games. They pay a pretty penny to carry the games. Their ratings dropped. That is a pure business move. I'm sure FSN North went to the Twins and said, what are you doing? K-Twin. We don't like to talk about them because we're not them, but they're the team-owned radio station, right? Their ratings are going to fall if the Twins don't do well. So I think the Pohlads really probably told Terry, you really have to build interest in this team. And Sano and Buxton and those guys are going to come up eventually. But in the meantime, go sign some people, pay them some money because business-wise, we need them.
Yeah, this next maybe several year stretch, I don't know, I was going to say 5 or 6 years, but we don't know how long he'll be the GM of the Twins. This next stretch in his career will really define how great of a general manager he is, or if he's just a very good, shrewd general manager. He was known for great deals on the cheap, going in like the Shannon Stewart trade you alluded to this morning. A lot of great baseball decision moves.
Right.
Now that he has this money and he's being asked to spend it, you're right. I do get this sense that, $48 million, $49 million for a pitcher over a 4-year term, handing out long-term contracts to pitchers generally isn't a smart investment. It doesn't pay off. This isn't a huge dollar one, but for the Twins it is, and I think it'll help define anyway what they can be in the next several seasons and how good Terry Ryan can be as a general manager when he has money to spend.
And your thoughts, Nolasco, just straight up as a pitcher?
He is I'm not going to say a strikeout pitcher because there are other guys who strike out more pitchers, but he strikes out about 7.5 batters every 9 innings, which would instantly lead the Twins. Walks about 2.5. That's a pretty good ratio. I mean, he strikes out about 3.5 batters for every batter that he walks. That's a good rate, especially in the context of the Twins. I think he's instantly the Twins' best pitcher, and you touched on it earlier. He helps bump everybody else back down. He's probably going to make the whole rotation better. I'm writing for 1500ESPN.com today a stats analysis, so look for that. But basically what I'm going to say is he's a good pitcher. He's not a great pitcher.
But once again, for those that say, well, why don't you go out and get Verlander? If you look at the free agent market, where would he rank? Because
dry.
that free agent, exactly.
It's very dry. He's very easily a top 3 pitcher on the free agent market that was widely available. Now, there could be pitchers available in trades. I don't know that. Ricky Nolasco, good sign for the Twins. He's certainly not the savior.
How about Hughes?
Hughes is a good pitcher, too. I like him out of Yankee Stadium. His numbers in Yankee Stadium were terrible. His home run rates on fly balls were a lot worse from that short right field porch. You get a guy on the road in a big pitcher's park like this, I think he could be a good pitcher for the Twins. And at 3 years, only $24 million, if that is the deal, that's not going to hamper them long term if it doesn't work out.
A lot of facial hair on this show today.
Yeah, 2 faces made for radio.
Are you keeping yours? I'm keeping mine for a while. This, by the way, I could have played for the Red Sox.
Yeah,
check out how good. Ross has nothing on me. I could catch. Quinn should sign me to catch. Look at this. This is perfect.
My problem is I'm going to have to stay away from schools with young children for the next
That was my problem with the mustache.
Yeah.
Thank God we got rid of Movember and went to No Shave November.
We're talking about nothing now, Judd. We got to kill this video.
I'm Zolgad. He's Wetmore, 1500ESPN.com. Thanks for checking us out.